Section 11.6, how can you find the volume of a pyramid? So slight change from the last section as far as our formula, but still basically there. Our volume is now 1/3 area of the base times the height. So just like we looked at with the prism, the area of the base is going to change. It could be a rectangle, it could be a square, it could be a triangle, it could be a pentagon. That's going to change. We're going to have to plug in our area formula there. The main difference from a prism is the 1/3. So if we look at our pyramid here, if you pull this straight up from the base, you have the prism. The stuff you cut away is 2/3 of the shape. So your pyramid is going to actually 1/3 of the size for the same height. So basically all of these are just as we go through. That's the only thing that's on here. We're going to look at different ways to solve these and different things we might see. So example 1, we have our pyramid. We have a base that's a square. I know that because the sides are marked congruent and I have the 90 degrees here. So my area of the base is side times side, so 14 times 14. My height is 10, and then I do 1/3 of that. All right. So that gets me 653 1/3 meters cubed. Okay. You could leave this as a fraction. This would be 1,960 over 3. So you could do that as meters cubed as well. If you prefer that, either is acceptable. Then, oh, that's weird. This is 36 not showing up. Next shape here, we have a triangle. Right? One thing to watch with your triangles is do you have the right things? So my base here is a triangle. Fortunately on this one, they give me this angle is 90 degrees. So the 4 and the 6 are my base and my height. So I have 1/2 base times height. My height is 9. Multiply that by 1/3, and I'll get 36 meters cubed, which at some point I messed up and it's whited out and is reflecting weirdly. All right, but this says, well, I can write it underneath it. 36 meters cubed. That shows up a little bit better. Then C. Here we have a base that is a hexagon. I have 6 sides on my base. So my area formula is 1/2 ASN. All right, my height is 10. So I have 1/3, I have my 10, and then here, this is my 1/2 ASN. Okay, so looking at the picture initially, I have my 1/2, that's part of my formula. I have the 4, that is my side length, and I have my 6 sides. I also need the apothem. Okay, now in this problem, they didn't give me the apothem. This goes back to our 30, 60, 90 triangles as far as what we're doing here, which I have here. We have 30, 60, 90. I know the 30 because of our central angle. 360 divided by 6 is 60. The apothem is going to cut that in half. That's where the 30 comes from. The apothem also cuts this side length here at 4.5, so this is 2. So in a 30, 60, 90 triangle, my hypotenuse is times 2, my long leg is times √3. The long leg is the apothem, that's what I care about. So that's where this 2√3 here comes from. When I multiply out, if I'm leaving it in exact, I can just leave that √3 there. I don't care that the √3 is there, it just stays there. Everything, all the other numbers get multiplied. The √3, there's nothing to mess with that, so it just stays as √3. So I have 2 times 4 times 6 times 10, and I'm going to take half of that and take 1/3 of that, which is the same as taking 1/6. Okay, so that gives me 80. If you have trouble with multiplying those, you could with the half and the 1/3, you could do 2 times 4 times 6. What's that be? And then times 10. All right, divide that in half, or divide that by 2, and then divide that by 3, that will get you the 80. So I have 80 root 3 inches cubed. The actual measure for that, if you needed an actual number, would be 138.56, but I think leaving it as 80 root 3 is generally easier. And flip over, look at a couple of our other shapes here. Okay. So D, again, we have a triangular pyramid. So my base is a triangle, so I'm doing 1/2 base times height. I have a height of 10. I have 9 and 16. They don't actually show me 90 here. I think to make life easier, we said this is 90. Right? Otherwise, it becomes complicated. 90 times 16 times 1/2 is my area, times 1/3. So multiply these all out, I get 240 meters cubed. Then E, we have a square again. Sides are marked congruent. So 1/3 times 13 times 13 times 15, which is the height, gives me 845 inches cubed. And finally, F, rectangular prism. We have side lengths of 4 and 7, height of 9. So 1/3 times 4 times 7 times 9 gives me 84 feet cubed. So with our pyramids, the only thing that can cause us issues really is if we don't have stuff. So we might have to look at like using our 30, 60, 90 triangle like we did in the regular polygon. You would also have something where you don't have the height and you need to find that based on what they give you. We'll see that in what that looks like in the next section as we deal with surface area.